Shalom, and welcome back to Bnei Noach Academy, Thoughts on the Torah. Please remember to hit the like button, to subscribe, and most importantly, to share this insight and inspiration with friends and family. When you look in the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 17, Lo tisna et achicha bilvavecha. Literal translation, do not hate your brother in your heart. Hocheach tochiach et amitecha. You shall certainly, or most certainly, rebuke, reprove your compatriot. But you should not carry a sin on him. What is this telling us? How exactly is this precept observed? In other words, what does the Torah want from us? What am I supposed to do? Don't hate your brother in your heart? I'm upset. Maybe I do hate him. What exactly am I supposed to do? What action am I supposed to take? Well, the great Jewish thinker and legal authority, the Rambam, Maimonides, explains that the way to fulfill, to observe this commandment is the following manner. If one has wronged you, one has done something to you which causes you upset, which makes you angry, you have an obligation to confront a person. You have an obligation to share with that person your feelings, your sentiment. Let the person know what they have done to you, but do not allow it to stay in your heart. Now, you see, the typical reaction of most of us, I say naturally as humans, is that we get angry about certain things. We get hurt, we get upset, but we're shy. We're bashful. We're uncomfortable to approach the person and say, look, that wasn't nice. I did not appreciate that. We're afraid of coming across as foolish, as idiotic, crybabyish. Thus, we don't do it. But what happens, that hurt, once it stays in the heart, for some reason or another, it festers. And the more it marinates, the more it festers, the greater it grows. And it can turn into a full-blown hatred. And later with a vendetta against the other person. And often, it just started with something very small, which maybe even the other person didn't even intend. It wasn't done with malice. It wasn't done with intent even many times. That person could maybe not even know that they did something wrong to you. And one day, you share your hatred with them, but it's too late to walk it back. And that rift can stay forever for the rest of your lives. And that's what the Torah is warning us against. You have a little hate in your heart, a little anger, a little upset. Share it. Give the other person a chance, the opportunity to come clean. Give the other person the privilege of understanding how you feel. Perhaps it will turn out that it was all just a misunderstanding or an unintentional and non-deliberate act on the other person's part. Now, in the same verse, the Torah tells us, you have to rebuke the other person. You see someone doing something wrong, you cannot just absorb the situation, that is, see what happened, take it in, and just move on. Or as some say, live and let live. No. Being part of the same human race, you have an obligation, if possible, as I'll explain in a moment, if the situation allows, you have an obligation to approach that person and try to set them right. At least give them, afford them the information, the correct perspective of the way things should be. Whatever choice they make after that is their choice. However, says the verse, you should not carry a sin on him. What does this mean? Well, the sages of the Talmud tells us first and foremost it means the obvious. That in doing so, in fulfilling this commandment of reproving the other person, make sure that you don't carry any sin because of it. Because if you go and do it out in public, out in the open, and you embarrass the person, then not only you haven't fulfilled a positive observance, a mitzvah, but you've now committed one of the worst sins. And of course, it also has the meaning of you should not carry a sin on him. Meaning, you should not cause inadvertently the other person to now have committed a sin or a graver sin because of your reproof, because of your rebuke. Let me explain. If you know that person or you assess the situation and it becomes clear and obvious to you that that person, when you set them straight, when you enlighten them with the correct information, with the right perspective, that they are going to obnoxiously and intently, out of spite, do the opposite or have no remorse, then in that case, you shouldn't say anything to them. Because in that case, what you're going to be doing is you're actually going to become now a cause, a catalyst for that person to become a greater sinner. So in short, only say something if it can help. Only offer information if your estimation is that it's going to contribute positively to the other person and, of course, to yourself. This, in short, is something that our society needs to really learn from. No, someone wrongs you, you don't just post a bad comment online to hurt them, but rather share it with them privately. Let them know what they did. Let them know how they can fix it. And if they did something wrong, that doesn't mean that they're bad. Maybe they didn't realize. Maybe they made a mistake. Maybe they weren't thinking in the moment. Give them the benefit of the doubt.